5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was.
I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
The fighters and, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, thank you.
During a live session, Jake Paul issued a sharp warning to Gervonta Davis, making it clear that anyone doubting him is wrong. He stressed that he takes his training seriously, feels fully prepared, and is confident in his abilities. Paul declared that Davis won't be able to withstand his power and promised the fight will prove it.
If you got on the ring
He's
with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my...
Streamer Aiden Ross is confident Jake Paul will stun the world against Gervonta Davis, saying those who doubt him don't truly understand boxing. He argues Jake has improved with every fight, now possessing the skills to take on even a champion, and dismisses critics who still label him just a YouTuber. For Ross, this fight highlights Jake's rise, not Tank's legacy, and he believes Jake's discipline and determination make him a serious threat in the ring.
I'm going to be very surprised if Jake's not favorited on the sports betting, on sports. Like, all you guys saying, and all this do you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit? Like, all right, I'm going to keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's going to win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very...
Gervonta Davis often faces criticism not for his boxing ability, but for failing to generate excitement outside the ring. Analysts point out that he has struggled to promote fights, even in his own division. In contrast, Jake Paul and his brother Logan have mastered the hype game, turning every event into a spectacle and selling millions through their charisma and showmanship. This is why Jake's presence gives this fight global appeal, with critics arguing that Tank's brand alone isn't strong enough to carry such a major event.
He is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you. Apparently, boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts.
Shakur Stevenson, known as one of boxing's most skilled fighters, criticized Gervonta, Tank, Davis for choosing to fight Jake Paul, calling it disrespectful to the sport. He argued that Davis had better options in his own division, including a potential fight with him that could have solidified Tank's place as the top lightweight. Instead, Stevenson believes Davis went for an easy payday against the celebrity boxer, a decision that echoes the frustration of boxing purists who want real championship matchups rather than crossover events.
Yeah, I on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that, and he called cap on it. So if you're going to call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Oladipo viewed the fight differently, pointing out that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are still in their prime and argued this matchup shouldn't be happening now. He compared it to Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, which took place after Mayweather's peak and made sense as entertainment. In his view, Davis and Paul still have bigger challenges ahead and shouldn't waste their best years on spectacle fights, suggesting this bout would have been more appropriate later in their careers.
Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, done, right? Floyd versus Conor. Did he have one more after? Was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done. Right at the end. Even if it wasn't. Right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. I'm guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11", I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him. I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. And you know, a lot of these guys wear those big...
Paulie grew heated when discussing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight with Chris Algieri, arguing that knockouts only matter when earned against real competition, not staged matchups. He pointed to legends like Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson, who proved their power against elite opponents, and accused Tank of avoiding top fighters despite the depth in the lightweight and super featherweight divisions. To Paulie, comparing this fight to Tyson's era is disrespectful, and he dismissed it outright as nothing more than a cash grab.
Career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture. You can manufacture
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
But by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of Witherspoon.
That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you can say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar, and the way that he was, and like you said,
he stepped him up and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.
Analysts see Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis as more of a show than a true boxing contest, noting that Jake isn't championship caliber, so chasing titles isn't realistic for him. Instead, this fight works because of the entertainment factor, and with Netflix backing it, the event is certain to attract a massive audience. While many expect Tank to dominate with his superior skill and speed, the matchup still excites fans who enjoy unusual clashes. In the end, It's about generating attention and spectacle rather than building legacy.
I think he's tactfully, as I said, I think he's tactfully saying like, oh,
even
I'm
if he's, even if he's promoting it the other way, I've been very consistent on my Jake Paul thoughts. I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
Stephen Fulton defended Gervonta Davis against criticism, reminding fans that while many accuse Tank of chasing easy money instead of legacy fights, fighters have the right to secure life-changing paydays. He stressed that a boxing career is short, and beyond legacy, athletes have families and futures to think about. From Fulton's perspective, there's nothing wrong with Davis choosing a high-paying matchup, even if it disappoints hardcore fans who wanted him to face top contenders.
Especially with the payout, it's like, that's a no-brainer. But I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would, none of us.
Eddie Chambers warned against underestimating Gervonta Davis, noting that while Jake Paul has the size advantage, Tank's skill and danger in the ring make him a nightmare for opponents. He explained that unless someone is a true powerhouse, they will struggle badly against Davis, whose speed, sharpness, and knockout power make him one of the toughest pound-for-pound fighters. His remarks highlight the split opinion. Some focus on Jake's size, while others believe Tank's skill will always give him the edge.
Something like this can happen, but this is social media. This is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference, and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. It's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch, I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out but he's gonna feel it.
Several analysts argue that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis will generate more global attention than traditional matchups like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. They point out that Jake isn't just a boxer. He's an entertainer with a huge fan base that reaches far beyond the sport. While most fighters mainly draw hardcore boxing fans, Jake attracts mainstream audiences and millions of casual viewers, giving the event crossover appeal. Analysts believe that even if purists dismiss it, The sheer numbers will show that Jake versus Tank will dominate the headlines.
39 wins by way of knockout, who's a far bigger star in the sport of boxing than Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Canelo's not a bigger global star than Jake Paul because Jake Paul is an entertainer outside the sport of boxing. That's why. So now you have people telling you that Jake Paul and Tank Davis is a circus fight, okay? It's a commercial circus fight on top of that. Jake Paul fights at cruiserweight and heavyweight, 200 plus pound, 200 minimum. Okay, his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former world champion, a son of a legend, he weighed in at 199 pounds. He fought Iron Mike Tyson at 224 pounds, okay? Tank Davis fights at 135 pounds. You have the storyline of David and Goliath that's going to push the entertainment part, okay? That's going to get people to draw interest in the fight. Why? Because you have the whole David and Goliath situation going on. So again, that attracts people. Okay? So it's a sideshow. But even the sideshow, yes, it's going to be on Netflix. Yes, it's going to be a big event on Netflix. But guess what? They are fighting at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. That holds max for concerts, 21,000 people. Canelo and Terrence Crawford, September 13th, this Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. They just added seats and they're expecting 72,000 people in attendance.
Sebastian Fundora, a rising contender in his division, expressed support for Gervonta Davis, saying he's glad Tank is getting a big payday even if the fight doesn't make much sense competitively. He noted that many fighters respect the financial side of boxing, knowing how tough it is to secure life-changing money in such a demanding sport. While fans may focus on legacy, Fundora understands why Davis took the offer, believing the financial reward alone justifies his decision.
Everybody knows Tank Davis is fighting Jake Paul, crossover matchup on steroids. Talk to us about it. What you think?
That's all it is, man. But it's good. Good for him. I'm happy for him. You know, everybody wants to do that, man. If you can go rob the bank and not get in trouble, why not, man?
Coach Reg took a pragmatic stance on the controversy. He pointed out that Gervonta Davis has already achieved a lot at such a young age. So there is no shame in him taking a fight like this. According to Reg, if Tank wanted to retire soon or even after this fight, it would still be understandable. He has already proven himself as one of the best lightweights of his generation, and fighters eventually earn the right to cash in. Reg believes that critics overlook how much Davis has accomplished, and that boxing should not deny him the opportunity for a major payday.
Go about your business if that's your plan. I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical, Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputeds. And you got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age. So I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. I mean, plus, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So, I think, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we don't want.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.